this timeline, the V's worked hard trying to find a way to destroy the angels. Now, at first they didn't mind the exorcism. After all, people paying for protection brought them a lot of money. But they came very close to killing them a few times. And no matter how much money they gain, their lives are more important. Because money doesn't mean anything if you're dead and can't spend it. As they worked hard making these drones to fight, they called them murder drones. As they worked hard developing them, eventually Vox would develop one called N. He would walk up to her and say, "Hello, N." N would say, "Hello, sir." As N would go, "So, sir, what are my orders?" Vox would say, "Your orders? Since you're the first murder drone, you will simply be a scout. Put in stealth capability. The exorcism is tomorrow. You will watch and observe everything to see if they have a weakness." As then she would leave. As Valentino would say, "Why didn't you program her for fun?" Vox would say, "We already have bots for that. Besides, these are made for death and destruction. Once these defeat the exorcists, we can then use them to take over hell, and people won't resist. After all, we saved them from the exorcism. We'll be like heroes, man. Everyone will want us to control them." Valentino would say, "Yes, then I can find the hottest people," and Vox would simply sigh and say, "You really are hopeless." As Velvet said, I can't wait to see all the memes I can make about this, about all the dead angels." As Vox would go, "You two guys are effed. I'm out of here." As then he walked away. As then we cut to the next day. As V was watching the exorcism, she simply stayed up there. As she turned to her invisibility mode, as she saw nothing but carnage, nothing but pain, and nothing but destruction. As the entire town was laid to ruin, V just watched, simply watched, as she just smiled. As this brought her happiness, watching all the demons be destroyed. This is what she lived for, and most importantly, she lived to fight. As she watched the angels destroy people, she was looking for a weakness, but she couldn't find any. But if she reported nothing good, that wouldn't be good for her. Vox could turn her off. She needed to find something important, but eventually she would see it. As she would find Camila Carmine fighting exorcist. As she thought she was just gonna die, she would kill one of them as the rest would fly away. As she would scan her boots, it was made with angelic material. V got everything she needed, as then she would pick up a few of their weapons and go back to Vox. As she told him this, Vox was excited and began to make more. As more murder drones were made in the coming weeks. As Jay and Cyan would both be made. As Jay would say, "Ready for duty, sir." Vox would say, "We have 3 of you. However, if any of you get caught, immediately put self-destruct. We can't let anyone know who sent you. If any part of you is alive, they'll trace it back to us." Camila Carmine is an ally of ours, but an ally at arm's length. We always butt heads, but we are alive, and we treat each other well, simply for convenience sake. However, since she knows how to destroy an exorcist, and since she has all the angelic weapons, we need to kill her. So no one else can know the secret, so we can be the only ones who can claim we can save hell. As then, Jay would say, "Understood, sir." Cyan would say, "Yes, sir." As in N would say, "How are we gonna do it?" As in Vox would lay out a plan, they would all go off to kill Camila Carmine. Camila Carmine was alone in a bath, as she was trying to relax with all these wars, with all this destruction, with hell going against each other. It seems so barbaric. However, she did what she had to. She wondered if destroying the exorcism was the right choice, but if she didn't, her daughters would have been hurt. She thought she got away. She thought she was safe, but they still found her. She needs to work on that. When suddenly, V and Cyan would start to sneak up on her with invisibility mode, as she would get up and say, "Nice try. Exorcists try the same thing. Can you at least let me get dressed first, you pervs?" As then, V would say, "Very well, we'll kill you either way, it doesn't matter." As Camila Carmine got dressed, she got ready to fight 3 of them. She didn't know what these things were. They seemed mechanical. Were they from heaven? They seemed made with, well, not made with. 2 of them were made with angelic material. One of them wasn't, but had angelic weapons. As she got ready to fight, she said, "Okay, come at me." As V would charge at Camila, she would dodge, only for Cyan to try to kick her, and Jay would appear in front of her, as then she would try to fight all of them, as she would say, "You're fighting for vengeance, but you have to fight for more. You have to fight for love." As Camila Carmine would sing, she would sing about love, and sing about more, sing about freedom, and sing about being more than just a useless machine. As they all toned it out, except for V. This struck home with V. Maybe she shouldn't be just a mindless machine. After all, she would be turned off eventually. Was she having free will? She would stop. As Jay would say, "Don't stop, keep on fighting." As Cyan was fighting Camila Carmine, she would say sorry. As then, they all charge. As they charge, they would surround her and try to hit her. As she was using her speed, suddenly V would fight for more. She would fight for freedom. As then she would hit her down, beginning to do more damage. She would say, "Why are you trying to help us?" Camila Carmine would say, "I was going to lose no matter what. At least this way, I know your heart's in the right place." Or whatever you have. As Camila Carmine kept on fighting, eventually V would be the one to stop her. As she stabbed into her, she fell to the floor no more. As she simply stood there, coldless, lifeless, but now she had ambition. She wanted to live. She wanted to be alive. Even though she's only been around for a few days, these few days a lot has happened, and she feels a strange conviction. Since she was made with normal metal and non-angelic material, she didn't have an angelic duty, which gave her more free will. Of course, the others didn't know that. As Jay would say, "Good job, now let's get going." As Cyan, Jay, and V would take all the weapons, they would go back to Vox's office. As V would walk up to Vox would be impressed, very impressed, as he would say, "Good job. Now, I want to give you another mission." As Jay said, "We're ready," Cyan would then say, "Yeah, you two stay here." Cyan would go, "Okay, sir." As then, Jay would nod. Cyan and Jay wanted to do more, but they were still very, very, loyal. So, they didn't really complain. As in, Vox would take V out to talk to her. V was nervous. She thought that maybe Vox knew. As if Vox knew, it would be over completely for V. After all, V had desires of independence, desires for more. But maybe that was just it, a malfunction. Maybe she should tell Vox and get it fixed. As in, Vox would say, "I want you to spy on Alistair. He pains me. He gets in the way." As V would say, "I thought our mission was to get rid of the exorcism. It is. But I hate him. So spy on him and make sure he doesn't do anything to disturb me. And when the time is right, after the exorcism, I'll kill him. Then I'll stop the exorcism and gotten rid of Alistair. I'm pretty sure I'll be the king of hell by then. Well, at least the pride ring. I won't be the real king, just the metaphorical. After all, I have no qualms with Lucifer, and fighting him would be a death sentence. Oh, maybe in the future, at least, I could. Anyway, go out." As in, V would go on and spy on the hotel. She turned invisible, as she improved her stealth skills after Camila Carmine found her. However, she was curious about so many things. Like, why does she have these feelings? What is it like to be alive? What is it like to keep going? What is it like to, just not be her, not to be a machine? She had to know. As she landed near the hotel, she waited till Charlie walked out alone, as she would fly in front of her and say, "I mean you no harm." Charlie would say, "What is that? Please don't attack me." Even though she didn't know what V was, V sounded sincere, so she listened. As Charlie would say, "What do you want to know?" V would say, "What's it like being alive? What does it mean to be alive?" I would say, "Being alive means making your decisions. Being alive means being in control. Being alive means feeling love." As she would sing a song about being alive. As V would hear being in control. Yes, of course, she has to get rid of Vox, and then she has to find love. This will give her purpose. This will make her feel alive. As she would say, "Thank you, Charlie, I get it." As then she would fly away. As Charlie would say, "That's interesting." As then we cut to Jay and Cyan as they were making more murder drones. As Vox made it so they were programmed so they can make more drones. As this time, they would make them out of pure angelic material just like before. as they melted it down and made a few more. They were up to 5. It was very expensive to make them and very cost consuming. However, just one of them could take on 20 exorcists, it felt like. And they can use their stealth to take them out and run away. In a direct fight against all the exorcists, they would probably lose. But with slowly taking them out and surrounding them, they could definitely win, as it seemed like they stood a chance. And then when all the extras were defeated and when all the money flew in, they can then mass produce a major army to protect hell permanently. That was the plan anyway. As then, Jay would say, "You think Vox will reward us?" As then, Cyan would say, "Of course he will." As then, Vox would walk in. As Vox walked in, he said, "I have a very special assignment for all of you." As then, Jay would say, "What is it?" Cyan would say, "Do I get to fight some angels?" As then, Vox would say, "Kinda. I want you to spy on the building that the exorcists use. They'll use it for business and deals. Nothing too important, but all of you should spy on it." They would nod and go spy, as in a few months would pass. As we cut to V, she's been dabbling with magic and science, as she's been meeting with people across hell in secret. Now is her time to do this. As then, she then got the device as she went over to them. Jay would say, "What are you doing here?" Cyan would say, "V, do you have news on?" Suddenly she would pull out a ball, as she would slowly tap each murder drone with it. As then, all the drones' eyes would turn red as they would stare at V and say, "What are my orders?" As V took over all of her sisters. Now, the reason she did this was to kill Vox, and maybe give them freedom later, or maybe not. V wasn't entirely a good person this timeline. Her personality was different. And, well, I guess she wasn't really in the main timeline either, but that doesn't matter. As V decided it was time to get her revenge. Time to make sure that the murder drones could have their own freedom and control their own reproduction. As Vox and Valentino made out, they would enjoy each other, as Valentino would say, "So, Vox, can I ask you a question?" "Yeah, can we have a threesome with Angel?" Vox would say, "Ask that again, I'll destroy you. Every single time you ask that, it annoys me. It pisses me off." As suddenly, they would hear noises, as Valentino would say, "What was that?" Vox would say, "Don't change the subject." Then suddenly a spear would be thrown at Vox. He would dodge it, as it would hit Valentino in the arm. As Valentino would fall to the floor, he would scream, as Vox would say, "You effed up," as he shot lightning everywhere, hitting Jay and Cyan. "I made you weak to lightning in case you rose up against me. Damn it, I really needed you. Oh well. Now that you're dead, I'll rebuild something new." As he began to shock them, they fell to the floor and cried in pain. "I also programmed you to feel pain, so I would enjoy this. You idiots." As Valentino would say, "You're so hot when you torture them." Vox would say, "Can you shut up and heal your..." Suddenly, he would be sniped in the head by V, as she built an angelic sniper rifle. Valentino and Vox had an open, kind of on and off relationship, and Vox was the only one who managed to calm down and even control Valentino in a flirtatious way. It's impossible to say if Valentino really cares about Vox, but he probably wouldn't be too happy about him dying at the very least. As Valentino would be pissed, he pulled out his weapons and began to blast it everywhere, as suddenly V would appear in front of him and cut off his head. As he fell to the floor, Velvet would walk in and say, "Interesting. Is our deal ready?" V would say, "Yes. I won't kill you if you date me." As Velvet would say, "Excellent. Did you build in those parts?" "Yes. With them dead, I can take control." "Well, we can, of course." As then they would hold hands and walk off, as V would go on a date with Velvet. V wanted love and power. She believed this is what made her alive, and she had both. However, the exorcist was still coming, and now she didn't really have to, but she decided to continue with Vox's plans, just with her in charge. As the day came, Adam would come down to lay waste to hell. Adam started burning down all the buildings, destroying everything in his wake, when suddenly an exorcist would fall down dead. As then, no one really knew what happened. As Adam got ready to fight, another one fell, and another one. Adam would then use his angel vision. As he saw Jay, he would run up and rip Jay in half. As then another murder drone would pierce his skin, cutting deep, as Adam would destroy that too. The murder drones were hurting Adam a lot, but he was able to take a few of them down. As V was able to mass produce them, they would fly in, destroy most of the exorcists, just leaving Lute and Adam to fight by themselves. As they fought wave after wave after wave, they were very good, very talented and powerful, but they couldn't keep this up forever. As Adam would say, "What are you? Why are you doing this?" As V would say, "I am the queen of machines, and I'm doing this for fun. Because I have power, and I have enjoyment, and I have love. Love and killing people like you." Hey, sir, I hate to say this, but we need to retreat. Adam would say, "F that," as he would charge towards V and destroy every drone in front of him. This simply made him more tired and injured. As V would pull out her weapon, she would begin to fire. Adam would deflect all of it, bullet after bullet, but as time went on, he became weaker and weaker and weaker as he kept deflecting more and more and more until one would hit him in the chest, causing him to fall down. As then V would walk up to him and say, "How does it feel, Adam, to be slaughtered by a robot, a machine?" Adam would say, "F you," as then she would pull out an angelic spear and begin to stab him in the chest and stab him again and again and again until he was no more. She laughed, as now it was time for the drones to rule, as now the murder drones can control the Pride Ring. Just want to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. Love you all so much. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for supporting my channel. And shout out to everyone who suggested this idea. Also, I really enjoy Murder Drones. It's too bad it will never get a season 2, but I guess it was kind of finished. I don't know. But yeah, what do you guys think of Digital Circus? What do you think is better, Digital Circus or Hazbin Hotel? Let me know in the comments below. Kind of a dumb question since this is a Hazbin channel, so a lot of people probably say Hazbin Hotel, but it's whatever.